Hi friends! Are you ready for our weekly Lenormand reading? Today is October 14th, although this is always the reading for the week of October 13th. I know Venus just moved into Libra, the sign of Libra. The sun is in Libra right now, and I believe the moon is going to move into Libra on the 19th. So I'm a Libra, so hopefully some of this is going to shed some light on what to look forward to. So first card out, let's see. Oh, it's the tree. I love the tree. That tree is, it's a wish fulfillment card, but it's healing and growth and stability and family, ancestry. The whip, though, is in the upper left-hand corner. It's also, health, So, working out, exercising, and then the coffin is there, which is, rest. And then the mice is there, which is, a little bit of anxiety, worry, concern, but that cross in the center is the things that you must do. So you might be feeling pressurized, but just know that everything is on course. Basically, the child and the anchor is something new, and it's coming to a finality. Okay, so it's when the sun makes its solar return, basically. Well, we are in Libra, and the sun has made its solar return, so it's a landing of sorts. And then the 16th is my son Kyle's birthday. He's also a Libra. So that has landed, and it's my child. So personally, that's what this means to me. The bear is there as well. So, that's the mother, nurturer. But we also have the bear and the mice. That's, you need to handle those big problems. Or not, you need to handle the small problems before they become big problems. And I do see a little bit of a cross to bear there. So not that it's a burden, it's just you have lots on your plate feeling to it. The bear and the mice, that has that, oh, I'm overwhelmed feeling, okay? But the mice also is kind of a codependency of sorts. So it's kind of like, things come together feeling, okay? So let's see what else Spirit will have for us. And we've got the mountain, which are your delays, your challenges, your obstacles. It could be a new chapter, but the snake is in the middle. So the snake in the middle is, it's kind of like a roundabout way around the obstacle. You can use diplomacy, you can use your intelligence. So what it's basically saying is that, you'll figure out a way, right? And I've said earlier this week, the greatest skill that you can develop is the skill to figure it out. And, obviously what doesn't kill us makes us stronger feel to it. And the crossroads are there as well. So I feel like there's some choices that need to be made in relationship to those obstacles. Okay. So sometimes the things some of the most difficult things that we have to do are not, big decisions that we need to make are not always the easiest decisions. Okay. I do see the moon and the sun, which that is, the feminine energy and the masculine energy. And, it's like you almost need both in order to navigate. Okay. So like maybe also put yourself in another person's shoes, not always look out how it affects you, but how it affects others feel to it. But I do feel like there's a collaboration and an invitation and finances, so abundance. The fish is there. So that's kind of like your school, your team on the job feel. And then the tower is there. So that tower is official. Okay. It's my justice card too, but it's official in nature. So I do feel that some things are starting to come together. I see events, I see travel possibly, and invitations. So I like to see that. All right, let's see what else. Communication is highlighted in the garden, which is your shared spaces. Okay, networking, going to a park, getting out in nature, feel to it, and the lilies. The lilies is our final card, and that is like, virtue and just lovely. And, it feels like it's like a lovely type of a connection and arrangement, gathering, okay? So I'm going to start laying them out now. Let's see what we have. I love to see the lilies. The lilies is, in reverse, it's kind of challenging. It can be, a little bit of bitterness or, that bittersweet kind of feel to it. Bitter man is kind of the Lenormand reading, but how it makes you feel is that, try not to let things make you bitter, but make you better, okay? But in this portrait here, I feel like it's positive because we've got the key is there, the fish is there, that's kind of abundance, and then the flowers. Oh, that's beautiful. So a little bit of reaping rewards. And the focal is the sun, which, though, that's my little, hard work kind of paying off feel to it. And in the center, we have the ship and the sun and the tower. So, that's my solar return feel, right? We've got the snake, the sun, the garden, and the tower. So that's beautiful. The upper left-hand corner is the whip. The whip are your challenges. And then the far right is the letter. So I feel like written communication, but not just that. Maybe thank you notes, invitations, bucket list. Affirmations. Writing is a form of channeling, right? It's kind of like the thoughts that inspire you to make the list. Okay, that's all we're doing here. People want to make more out of it than what it really is, but really what it is using our thoughts and creating that through our intention, okay? I do see a little bit of competition, though, the whip and the bear. That has that competition feel to it. I wish that I could probably, what I'd like to do is maybe offer up some sort of a competition or, like maybe the fifth person who comments, I'll give you a free reading kind of a feel to it, okay? I've been thinking about doing something like that, and maybe it's time. How about the fifth person will get a free reading, okay? The fifth person who comments underneath this. All right, let's see, what else? Fifth has changed too. 5, the number 5. I've said before, the only thing constant in this world is change, and the ability to adapt to that change is how, because it's the pain, the resistance that causes the pain. But if you can learn to go with the flow, then it's going to carry you down, and it's going to be kind of effortless. That's why I like to kayak. You feel like you're one with the water. Okay. There may be a stubborn child or something about a child, though, that is maybe because it has that feeling of moving forward momentum after a period of being away or being, maybe kind of missing an action feel, or is just having a hard time, getting their ball rolling, okay? Or it could be, because I see the child and the stork, and it could be a baby, making progress, though. So, I feel like everybody is kind of, I know of several people in my personal life that have children. They're probably starting their either walking or starting to smile or coo or, that sort of feel to it. But definitely, baby is in that combination with the child and the stork. So I like to see that. And then, all of, the new moms, new grandmoms, new great-grandmoms, So I feel like, all of that is lovely to see, which is my little, that lovely kind of feeling to it, okay? It can be painful, Sometimes watching them take their last or their firsts can bring tears to your eyes, right? I do see emotional feelings, though, but they're healing. So, once again, I feel like, hurt people, but heal people, right? And, the processes that we can go through, and there's no right or wrong, and there's no guideline or book to read that's going to do that for you. You have to do it on your own in the ways and methods that are good, that are meant for you. Everybody heals at their own pace, their own rhythm, and their own way of doing that. Okay. I see a little bit of like it comes back to the, if you treat somebody like they're a celebrity, they can treat you like a fan feel to it. So just be mindful of those types, those characters. Um, you know Sometimes people who are used and abused, it just proves the fact that you're valuable. Right? So I do see partnership here, though. So once again, we need to, what's in the best for all. Every relationship has to have that equal amount of give and take, or you would feel like you are being taken advantage of, and you will burn out if you're overworking and overdoing. Okay, so just learn to rest. Step back and allow. I'd gotten a yield sign the other day to kind of remind me, yield. You don't need to push so hard, and you don't need to force things. Let things, let the universe work its own magic too. Don't overwater plants. Don't force people to see your views. The one who generally explains himself too much, is a sign of, not weakness, but, you shouldn't have to explain. You should be able to just, stand firm and know who you are, and be able to, just be. You don't need to explain yourself, right? And it's never a good idea to offer up the advice unless you're asked for it too. So the ship is in the center, so I feel like travel plans are in order here. Maybe could be long distance, and so it could mean overnight. And I do see it can be a little challenging. But you'll be okay. The navigation could feel a little bumpy, but once again, just go with the flow. Okay. Let's see, what else do I see? I see that feeling of codependency, addiction kind of feel. So if there's any habits, it's good. It's okay to have like that OCD, if you're putting it towards a healthy habit. But if you see habits that aren't for your best and highest and best, now is a great time to start, releasing those, and maybe figuring out other things that you can do to make that easier. Okay. And then the insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, that never works either. So you have to change things up, okay? Change course, all right? Yeah. That moon is that softer energy, and it's with the clover, and it's with the stars. So, the crossroads are there. I feel like the stars are aligning, And I see spirituality is in focal as well, and I do see spiritual protection. But, the snake is there too. So, if you're being redirected, that is spiritual protection, okay? Don't look at it as an inconvenience or a letdown. Look at it as, divinely orchestrated. Let's see. I do see finances are improving though, so I like to see that. And this is kind of longevity for your career card. And the key is literally on the key again, so I love to see that. Well, folks, I think that that's about it for this afternoon. If you would like a more in-depth personal reading, I'd love to sit with you, or we could even FaceTime over the video chats and that. So have a blessed week, and take great care of yourself. Bye now.